Greetings! Mario has broken a leg, but he still needs to save the princess. But can we beat New Super Mario Bros. Without running? The rules are simple. I'm not allowed to run. But there is also another rule. I'm not allowed to press the buttons I have binded to run, so on my Xbox controller that would be Y and X. But other than that, let's get into 1-1. So definitely starting on a brand new save file and not the Don't Touch Red Challenge save file, we move on with 1-1, where 1-1 was pretty easy because it's 1-1, what did you expect? And 1-2 was much the same, where it was a pretty simple stage. Yeah, this is pretty, it's the first roll, what do you expect? 1-3 was, yet again. Yeah, this challenge is, it's not the most fun to play through, but listen, if you're wondering how I was keeping myself entertained, let's just say that I was listening to a bunch of dumb shit on my phone. Actually, let's turn this into a game. What random dog crap was I listening to? Alright, for the first thing I was listening to for World 1, it had 3 muscular men in it. Alright, moving on to 1-Fortress. 1-Fortress was pretty easy, but at the end I did get this absolutely beautiful cannon pipe launch thingy, where it was just like a split second before those 2 stone walls opened before I passed through them beautifully. Whew, it was beautiful to witness. Oh yeah, and Bowser Jr., I bet the fuck out of that child. That child stood no chance. But damn, that was beautiful. Anyways, on to the next stage. In 1-4, I used a very good strategy of trying to abuse slopes as much as possible to not make every level take about 52 minutes. But then in 1-5, it was the one where there's just a bunch of bouncy mushrooms. Which meant that level was actually pretty decent because I didn't move at the speed of a newborn baby, and instead I moved at the speed of a toddler. So yeah, that was actually pretty fine. And 1-8 was a water level. So that was actually pretty fine. It's a water level. That means that actually I'm allowed to move around pretty quickly and not at crippled speeds. But yeah, it was possible is what I'm trying to say. Also, at 1-Castle, yeah, I actually remembered where the 3rd star coin is. Because this star coin is in like the most cryptic place. Like, what the fuck? I always forget where the star coin is, but other than me and hating that star coin, we defeat Bowser by walking and jumping over him. Yeah, even in this challenge, Bowser is ridiculously easy in this game. But yeah, other than that, World 1 was entirely possible. Oh yeah, and also the song I was listening to during doing World 1, it was Kiss Me Again, but it's Buff TF2 Mercs for 10 hours. Look, please don't ask. Now, in World 2, I remember just how much of the star coins in 2-1 aren't even a challenge to get, they're just in your path. Like, who placed these? Oh yeah, but also, for the hint of what I was listening to during in this world, let's just say there was a black man, a white man, and a purple guy in the video. And an orange man appeared for like a split second, but that's besides the point. Now, in 2-2, I got a very, very nice, beautiful chain of jumping on enemies, but besides that beautifulness, it was a pretty easy level. 2-3, the sewer level, was also pretty easy to do, and as usual, I do the secret exit first because I forget that's the secret exit and not the main one. But other than that, I do the stage again, and also 2-A is, well, it's really easy because I can spend most of the time just flying through the air with those little spring thingies. So yeah, it was pretty easy. 2-4 was pretty annoying, mainly because that one part near the end where you try to have to jump over a bunch of piranha plants and the hills, and it was really hard to actually jump over them, mainly due to the fact that you couldn't get enough speed to dodge them, so you basically just get hit until you build up enough speed by grandpaing on the slope. But yeah, then once I did do that once, I died to the Hammer Bros, but after getting it again, I did kill the Hammer Bros, because, well, I'm just good at the game. And then also just bet the stage. 2-Fortress was pretty easy, and beating the hell out of Bowser Jr. was also pretty easy. 2-5 was pretty painless, and 2-6 was a pain in the dick, mainly because I kept killing myself over fire flowers and mushrooms. So, yeah, this stage probably wouldn't be that hard if I wasn't retarded, but seeing how, I'm an idiot and killed myself more times, yeah, this stage was hard because I'm an idiot, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And in 2-Castle, I had a very, very beautiful and close save trying to get a star coin. And the rest of the stage was also pretty easy, and I even managed to get a pretty cool looking kill on Mummy Pokey. But yeah, every single level in World 2 is possible, and if you're wondering what song it was Obama Beatbox plus Rude Buster Extended. Yeah, we're gonna go to World 3 now. Now, in World 3, we start off with 3-1, because I don't know what you were expecting me to say. But anyways, in 3-1, it was a water level, so if any suspicions of what I did, then you probably don't even know what I'm doing at this point. But yeah, it was actually pretty easy. 3-A was also pretty simple. And now, for the hint. Let's just say I had to turn a generator on to open the crypt to make the staff so strong to get the music to play. But yeah, we move on to 3-2. 3-2 was mostly annoying. Not because of anything, but just because I couldn't slide on mushrooms, meaning that I was gonna have to walk through the stage. Which kind of annoyed me because I just meant I had to spend more time walking. So yeah, it was pretty sad. But yeah, moving on. 3-B was also pretty easy, besides that one part in the middle where it was kind of stressful, but other than that, it was a pretty easy stage. In 3-Fortress, you're mostly just spent, well, climbing, so it was pretty easy. Oh yeah, and also the Bowser Jr. fight, absolutely slaughtered that child. He stood no chance. In 3-3, my hate for bloopers only grows because those things are the biggest pieces of shit. I hate bloopers, they're just about the worst enemy to try to dodge, but other than my insatiably increasing hate boner for bloopers, we're gonna go on to 3-Ghost House because I hate bloopers. In 3-Ghost House, I had a little bit, well, not really close call because I could have just tried again, but a wee bit of a close call, but luckily there was a Pumpkinhead Goomba to just bail me out, allow me to complete the stage without, well, running. What do you think? This literally whole challenge about. Come on. Follow along, but come on. 3-C was actually strangely difficult. I don't know why, I just kept dying for some reason, either by falling in the water, or having the ugly bastard kill me. I don't know what the hell he's called. Just look at him, he looks like an ugly bastard. But yeah, otherwise, hold on. Oh yeah, 3-Castle. Now you see, the thing with 3-Castle is the fact that it was actually fairly easy. And even the boss fight, I mostly just stood still and bet it. So yeah, the song I was listening to was Origins the Musical. But yeah, now we're just gonna move on to World 4. Now, in World 4, and 4-1 goes by with a pretty nice Walla Walla Bing Bang, as they mostly just camp on Dory, crouching in the blue shell. 4-2 was also pretty easy, and the most notable thing that happened is that we just jump on Victor Emmanuel III, and we also jump on Benito Mussolini, but other than that, this stage was pretty easy. In 4-3, we have to move around a bunch of smooth criminals as Michael Jackson, which, at the end of the stage, we make sure that Annie is okay, and we beat the stage with a POW! In 4-Fortress, I officially became retarded as I died a few times from deaths that really shouldn't have happened. But after beating up another small child, we do manage to beat the stage without running, because this stage is mostly just climbing on grates anyway, so yeah, if you expected anything else, I'm just gonna assume that you didn't play the game or you just don't remember the stage. You know, I wouldn't blame you. Sorry, for getting on a sidetrack, we're gonna move on with the challenge, because this isn't me talking about the game. In 4-4, I do almost die from my stupidity, but with an ooh-ee-ooh-ah-ah, I do manage to wall jump to safety and beat stage. I know, it's crazy to think that I'm beating the stage in a challenge about beating the game. Look, it's crazy, but we just have to continue this, or else we're gonna be stuck at 4-4 forever. 4-A was also pretty easy, and obviously 4-Ghost House, the best ghost house in any Mario game. Don't at me, I got lost in for a little bit because I'm stupid. In 4-5, we do a little bit of the Bing Bang in the stage, and we do eventually go through the stage as per usual, because this stage is possible to do while only walking, and that's about the stage done, and we're gonna move on to 4-6. On 4-6, I struggle because, I always struggle on this stage because I suck at the game. I don't know what you expect from me. But now let's just move on to 4-Castle. And 4-Castle goes by with absolutely no problems whatsoever. Also, the boss fight was very easy because I kind of just, you know, cheesed the fight. But other than that, World 4 is entirely possible. And for the song that I was listening to while doing this world, It was World War II and World War I leaders singing Witch Doctor 1 hour. It's a banger, you have to trust me. Oh yeah, but also we're just gonna move on to World 5 now. Now, in World 5, and in 5-1, we start off by letting the spike kill all the Goombas because I don't want to have to deal with them and try to run away from the snowball. And we also start up using the slopes in this stage so much that actually by the end I did get a restraining order from slopes, but we're just gonna ignore that because Mario likes to live on the edge. So we're just gonna move on to 5-2 now. Unlike when I was committing genocide, 5-2 this time is actually pretty easy and goes by with little problems. What else do you want me to say? And 5-A was actually easier than I expected it to be, as it was a pretty simple stage. But that means that we're able to move on to 5-Fortress. 5-Fortress was most of the same, and beating the hell out of Bowser Jr. was obviously also pretty easy because we're still just beating up a child. 5-3 starts off really nice as we start off on a very big slope. Then we break the laws of physics as Mario just slides through the wall. Then I cheat by shooting a fireball, and then I'm rightfully punished by the game for my cheating, and a Koopa Troopa kills me, rightfully putting my cheating ass in place. But after trying this stage again, not cheating like a cheating bastard, we do actually beat it legally, lawfully, and equally. You know, we're all about equality here. So yeah, we beat the stage. 5-B has a bunch of slopes which makes everything easier, and 5-Ghost House sucks as usual. And 5-C was again not that notable besides the end bit with like the 60 bruisers and the spawning red platforms. That was fun enough, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I did also die from being nearly die from being an idiot, but I'm actually good at this game, so you know, I actually survived. But yeah, the stage was possible. 5-4 was also easier than I expected, and 5-Castle won also pretty fun, especially because I got the star. And side tangent, I hate the star in NSMB, mainly because the music feels so way off and how it just feels like the song ends just midway through using the power-up, and also how the power-up feels like you barely get to use it. But yeah, the NSMB star is probably the worst one, and every other iteration is better. But yeah, I also almost died of Petey, but I do end up beating Petey pretty easily, meaning that World 5 is possible to beat. And for what I was listening to during World 5, it was Deep Ocean U-Boat Submarine Sonar Underwater Sounds Relaxing Atmosphere HD. Yeah, we're just gonna move on to World 6 now. Now, in World 6, and 6-1 is pretty easy, mainly for the fact that most of the stage is just a half-wall thingies, and you already move slow on them, so this stage basically just played the same as usual, so, yeah, we're just gonna move on to the next stage. In 6-A, we were lucky enough to have the tornadoes. Yeah, we were just lucky enough to have the tornadoes, is what I'm trying to say, which made going through this stage easier. Now, for the hint for what I was listening to, let's just say it's very, very heavily related to what I was listening to while doing World 1. But we're gonna move on to 6-2 now. 6-2 is mostly a water level. So you already know that this basically played out how it does usually because, well, I could swim. I had a bunch of problems with 6-Fortress. I don't know what it is, but I just kept dying either on the last two rooms, or I just kept dying to Bowser Jr., which is rare because I rarely die to that stupid infant. But, you know, besides me having a major skill issue in this stage, dying like a few times, I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, we do eventually beat up the child because the child bent me up far too many times, way more than I'm comfortable with, and after getting another child abuse charge, we move on to 6-3. 6-3 was mostly fun, although I do have sad news. The coin coffer here did commit suicide. Can we please get an F in chat for the coin coffer? Rest in peace. So, 6-4, that stage was pretty easy because it was a lot like 6-1, where it was mostly just the half walls where you just hang mostly and crawl. So yeah, it was basically the same as usual. I then went to go play with my dog for 50 minutes, so I kind of just stood still on the world map for nearly an hour. So yeah, after coming back from playing with my dog, yeah, I kind of just continued to 6-Fortress 2, and this stage was a pain in the ass. because of the amount of conveyors. Like, that's just redonkulous. Like, come on, this stage was annoying. Hard? No. But just bloody annoying. We also beat up the child, but it's not even satisfying anymore after having to walk through like 300 goddamn conveyors. So let's just move on to 6-5. 6-5 is an underwater level. So, you know, it was actually kind of difficult because I couldn't kill any of the cheap. So, yeah, it kind of went from okay to slightly worrying when I got hit. And then, oh shit, am I actually gonna beat this stage? But I did make it to the end, and I did pull a Michael Jackson to celebrate. And we do the stage with a POW! Again. At first in 6-B, I was actually kind of concerned that I wouldn't be able to beat the stage for the obvious fact that we have to, you know, grab onto those swinging thingies. I don't know what the hell they're called. Who would I look like? The Mario Wiki? But yeah, we were actually able to swing from them without having to hold the run button. So that was a relief. So the only hard part in the stage was me being a total retard and dying at the same part like 5 times. For no reason, I just kept forgetting to like continue sliding or jump. So besides me being a dumbass, the stage is actually pretty easy. But because I'm a dumbass, I died a bunch. 6-6 is the stage where you barely even stay on the floor for more than 3 seconds. So this stage was obviously very possible. And obviously, 6-Gash Castle was also possible. Besides that one stupid death I had, which I don't want to talk about. But yeah, the Monty Mole in the tank was easy to kill. And yeah, we were able to beat 6-Dash Castle. Thumbs up. And now, for what I was listening to during World 6. Do I need to say it? Alright, so according to the person that's keeping me hostage in a random basement in Bulgaria, I have to say what I was listening to. And the thing I was listening to was Crydia Kiss Me Again 10 hours. Can I go now? Okay, thanks. Sorry guys, I just need to go back home. Alright, now that I'm back home, I should say that I do feel like Steve. But yeah, other than that, 7-1 was pretty easy, mainly because most of the time you just spend your time on platforms and tracks. And so it's a pretty easy level for this challenge because I'm not moving around much anyways. In 7-Ghost House, I could just kiss Mario again for being able to walk fast enough to be able to get by that room where all the coins turn into platforms. But yeah, we were actually able to walk fast enough to not die in that part, meaning that 7-Ghost House is possible. 7-2 plays basically the same because, let's be real, when the hell do you even run in this stage besides the end? So yeah, this stage basically played the exact same. Moving on. In 7-3, I employed the world-renowned strategy, known as camping the front of the Wiggler in a blue shell whilst you sit back and do nothing but sit on your phone. Yeah, I just did that strategy again. In my defense, it did work, and I did almost die again because I wasn't paying attention, because I was just crouching in the front of the Wiggler. And to show you the effectiveness, here's a time-lapse of the rest of the stage. Doesn't that just look interesting? In 7 Fortress, I died a few times, and I had an embarrassing death that we will never bring up again. But yeah, I beat the hell out of an infant toddler, allowing me to progress. In 7-4, like another stage that I don't remember, you spend basically most of your time not even on the floor. So yeah, this stage was possible. Surprise to literally no one. 7-5 was pretty easy, so was 7-6, and to surprise to no one, the stage 7-7 was also easy, mainly because you spend most of your time allowing platforms and tracks to move you, so yeah, this stage was obviously possible. 7-8 was pretty annoying. Yeah, it's a cool looking stage, but that still doesn't mean it wasn't pretty annoying. And we did beat it with the mini mushroom, just so I can say I'm good at the game. Oh, sorry, I was just busy congratulating myself. Sorry, I forgot I was doing something. Yeah, let's just move on to 7-Castle. In 7-Castle, I make it about halfway through the stage with the mini mushroom before you see, that wasn't me playing. That was actually the the Bulgarians that were keeping me hostage. Yeah, that's why I died there. If it was me playing, I wouldn't have died. But when I actually played, we got through the stage with no problems, and we obviously beat the hell out of Lackey Thunder. But now, for what I was listening to during World 7, it is I Am Steve, Kiss Me Again, 1 hour loop, endless version, edit at Super Keeker, hashtag I Am Steve. Look, I don't know what you expect from me at this point. Let's just move on to World A. You guys probably think I'm a fucking weirdo at this point. So, yeah, World A, how about it? Now, in World 8, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on to 8-1, which was pretty easy as a matter of fact, mainly because I was able to abuse the slops a bunch. Alright, now we're gonna move on to 8-2. So yeah, 8-2 was actually I thought was gonna be impossible at the start, mainly because of the first room with like skeeters and the barrels and the limited time. And I was able to move fast enough, but eventually, after killing the skeeters, I was able to actually, well, do it, and the rest of the stage was easy because it's an underwater level, so, yeah, what do you expect? Underwater levels are easy in this challenge. In 8-Fortress 1, I do an Undertale reference, and then nothing really else happens besides me beating the hell out of an infant child once again. 8-3 was an underwater level, so you know that it was actually kinda easy, besides me dying at the red coin ring, and then me dying at the very end. So 8-4 was actually a pain in the ass. Because I'm not allowed to shoot fireballs, that means I wasn't allowed to kill any of the scuttlebugs, which kinda meant that I just kept dying over and over and over in this stage, but besides it being a massive pain in the ass, I was eventually able to beat it. 8-Castle 1 was pretty stressful, but it was easy nonetheless, and to beat Dry Bowser, we employed the exact same strategy we used in World 1, where we just walked up, jumped over him, and we bet the stage. Yeah, it was anticlimactic, I don't know what you expected. 8-5 and 8-6 both went on without much of a problem, as I was able to beat both stages with minimal hassle. One just required me to do a bit of jumping on those swaying metal platforms that we also saw in a Mario Party 9 minigame, and the other one mostly just included me walking around, but I did almost have a close call with one of them. But anyways, we're gonna be moving on to 8-7 now. 8-7, my favorite level, where it seems like the creators had no idea what the hell to do for a stage, so they just threw in random ideas into one level. As we can see, we have the first part, which is random parkour that you would see in some Kaizo game. Then we have the ones with the half walls, where you kind of just walk around like usual. And then, you know, the boomerang and hammer bros on those platforms going up and down. Truly a magnificent level where it just seems like the creators had no fucking clue what to do. So we're gonna now move on to 8-8. 8-8 was pretty easy. Sure, it was just 8-8, so it was pretty scary still, but after all, I'm professional at this game, so you can trust me on the matter of the fact that we went through the stage without problems. So, after saying that I'm a professional at this game, for the next course of action in 8-Fortress 2, I'm obviously gonna kill myself with a pretty stupid death. Cause you know, that's just what professionals do. And then, for the last time, we beat up the infant child. So now we're gonna go into 8-Castle 2. Now, in 8-Castle 2, it is still the best castle level in any Mario game. Don't at me, but if you do try to at me, just know you're incorrect. So yeah, after going to the stage, we're now into the final boss fight, and I was firstly trying to go under Bowser's legs, but that failed, so then I decided to beat on Bowser Jr. for a bit, because I know Mario hates children. So after we ground pound that child, we get an opening, because I was small Mario now, and I was able to go walk under Bowser's legs, and his tail hitbox just doesn't exist, which allowed me just to move on by and beat the stage. Meaning that yes, it is possible to beat New Super Mario Bros. DS without running or pressing the Y button. But it was still very satisfying watching Mario just barely walk under Bowser's legs to safety so he can save the princess. And now, for what I was watching whilst doing World 8. But anyways, that's the end of the video. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe, and if not, tell me why in the comments, and I'll see y'all tonight.